Universal released the trailer for Danny Boyle's new movie yesterday. This one is written by Richard Curtis, and the film follows Jack Malik, a struggling singer-songwriter who, after a bus accident during global blackout, awakens in a world where he's the only person who remembers the songs of the Beatles. This one opens up on June 28th, and it also stars Lily James. I don't even know who to go to first.
I'll take it. Let me tell you something, guys. This trailer is stupid.
You're heartless.
This is a stupid. How could Richard Curtis come up with this idea for a movie?
Now wait a second.
What?
Wait a second. Richard Curtis comes up with these ideas all the time. Don't compare him to Shakespeare, for God's sake. This is his wheelhouse.
I'm just like, Danny Boyle, weren't you supposed to do a James Bond movie and then the schedule ran out because you had to get in this musical? What is this movie? John, please help me out here.
Look, first of all, the movie I was trying to think about is Their Finest, that stars Gemma Arterton and Bill Nighy and Sam Claflin. Go see it. Second of all, here's what I'll say. I am a Richard Curtis sucker. Like, you put him in. About Time was great. I love Love Actually. Like, there's a lot of films he's done that I've thoroughly enjoyed from that side of the pond, being an Anglophile myself. That being said, this bothered me from top to bottom, and I wanted to love it because it's Danny Boyle. It's certainly well directed from the trailer. The problem is the guy can't sing. Second of all, I didn't. I mean, like using the Beatles music, I get it, but you show in the trailer he gets hit by a car and hits his head. So this is probably all a dream and a fantasy in his head to work out his relationship with Lily James. So it's that whole. So to me, I'm like, oh, okay, it's that. Then you bring in all these people to be a part of it. And Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon
was completely miscast. What? I wanted to fall in love with this, and I did not, and it just did not work for me. And the guy seems like a good actor. I just thought he was terrible.
I love that they mentioned Coldplay in this trailer, as if Coldplay would exist.
I love when
if there had never been the Beatles.
How is Coldplay a punchline? Like, there's way worse bands.
That's what they are now.
Coldplay and Chris Martin. Chris Martin writes fantastic lyrics. You may like his music, his lyrics are good. He's not a punchline, for God's sake.
I just like this. It caught me by surprise because I didn't know that that's what this movie was about.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I didn't know that this was that the movie was about this, because they've kept it under wraps on purpose. That's why they were so vague for the last 8 or 9 months while they were casting and then shooting this movie about what it was actually about. Because if I had known it was going to be about a kid who bumps his head and then the Beatles don't exist, I would have called it out way back then.
You guys are such grouches.
Wow. Are you going to pay to see this movie?
I will 100% pay to see this movie. I thought this was so charming. I thought it was cute and clever. I don't know what you're talking about him not being able to sing, but I obviously love the Beatles and the original recordings, but I'm also a huge sucker for Beatles cover songs, and the fact that so many were mashed up in this one trailer, and yes, maybe that is the goal of this kind of marketing effort, to sucker me in and see it. I don't know the quality of the movie in the end, but I was totally sold by this thing. I thought he was great in it. I liked Lily James. I like Lily James in everything she's in. So whenever she signs up for something, I'm usually encouraged. And you guys know I'm an Across the Universe fan. Like, I'm
so
always,
is he apparently.
I'm always going to fall for something like this. And it's not just the whole Beatles shtick even. It's like, I want to see where it goes with the idea of him not being able to reconcile the fact that, like, he gets this fame by copying someone else's music, because you know that it's going to hit that point eventually where he has to figure that out, and that to me is what's drawing me in.
And that's what Matt Goldberg was saying, that he has to keep his own personal expression under wraps because other people's hit songs are what's working for him. To me, and this is my final note on this trailer, is just that this is like the polar opposite of what I want to see from Danny Boyle, who was so good making Shallow Grave and Train Spotting, and 28 Days Later, these gritty, edgy movies. This looks like cookie cutter fluff from the studio that brought you Mamma Mia 2.
And it's weird that you're right, Jeff, when you bring up the James Bond thing. That is a little weird. It's like, I can't shoot it now. I got to shoot this Beatles-tinged thing. It's really important for me to get this out there. And Perry, you bring up what he's going to be confronted by. We do see an allusion to possibly Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr showing up to call him out on it, because they said there's 2 men who claim that they've written the songs. Is it a John Lennon imitation with Paul McCartney, or is it something else? Who knows? But there's certain. But the thing is, Here's the deal about singing. You got to interpret the song. There is nothing he's doing in this trailer that makes you feel what those songs feel like when you hear them, when John or Paul sings them, or George, or even Ringo. And I was frustrated by that, except the one moment I will say I liked was that something moment when he was on the couch with, is it James Corden, is they singing to the actress, whatever that is. And of course
Ana de
now...
Armas.
Huh?
Ana de Armas
Is
from
that
Blade Runner.
Oh wow,
yeah.
I didn't recognize her there. Yeah, Ana de Armas there. Like I seen that. That was a nice moment in the trailer. Overall, though, I get what the trailer's trying to do. That just bothered me.
Yesterday, I mean, how could the Beatles have allowed this to happen?
You guys, I can't wait until this movie comes out and you're so pleasantly surprised and
Sure.
it just like melts
I
your
hope
heart.
it does.
I would love that.
I hope it does. But based on
Between
this
the-
bit of marketing, can't do
Between
it.
this and Blinded by the Light, I just have a good feeling that 2019 is going to be filled with so much music-inspired love.
Elton John too.
Embrace
Rocket
it.
Man.
And
Yeah,
yes,
Rocket
Rocket
Man.
Man as
Yeah.
well.
He wrote a
I
new
can't
song
wait
for
for
it,
that
I'm
one.
told.
Yeah.
All right.
I want that one bad.
A lot to look forward to.